Authenticity may be a totally overused word right now, especially in online entrepreneurship and business ownership in general. However, it still applies. And today we're going to talk about it by looking at a passage from a book that I frequently recommend to a lot of my clients. We used to use the meditations inside of this book when I ran my 12-month mastermind programs. And today I'm going to introduce it to you. Today, we're going to use this book by Judith Blackstone called Belonging Here. The subtitle that you can't see easily here on the screen with me says A Guide for the Spiritually Sensitive Person. And since I tend to work with a lot of HSPs, highly sensitive persons, and I am one myself, I have found this book to be so helpful over the years. After you hear the narrated spot that I give you today, you might choose to pick up this book. That's the whole point of the series I'm doing on my YouTube channel, is that as a librarian, I'm going to help you figure out what should you read for your business? Where should you spend your time? Or do you just want to pick up the nugget that I give to you with the little coaching lesson and you can move on with your day? But if you choose to pick up this book and actually work with it, you will discover how hard it is and how much work it takes to stay fully embodied, to drop into your body and not to check out and live up in your headspace or outside of your physical existence and just sort of muddle along through the day, which is really, really easy to do when you're an empath, when you're highly intuitive, when you're very spiritual and you feel a lot of things. You are, for lack of a better term, sensitive. The excerpt that I'm going to read with you today is all about authenticity and figuring out who are you really when you've had the weight of expectation put on you, when you're just trying to fit in with the rest of the world because you're just a little bit different. Who do you become at that point? And this is a type of thing that affects business. It affects your branding. It affects your marketing. It affects the offers that you put out. It affects how you price your offers and sell them. It affects everything. And I have found in especially the last couple of years after we've gotten out of the worst of the COVID times, that the people who've ended up in my coaching room have struggled with this quite a lot. You know, we can hack your systems from now till Sunday and figure out new strategy. But if authentically you still don't feel like you, it's really, really hard to stay consistent with it. It's really hard to stick with it. It's really hard to move forward. Let's hear what Judith Blackstone has to say about authenticity. This comes from a chapter towards the end of the book called Shapeshifters. And if you want to follow along with me, I'm starting on page 162, and we're just going to dive into it. The potential for this aspect of spiritual maturity is often present in spiritually gifted children as a rich capacity for imagination. Like all talents, it can cause difficulties. These dreamy, wool-gathering children may find themselves distracted from the mundane pursuits of their peers. They may have difficulty concentrating on schoolwork that bores them when they can easily escape into more entertaining fantasies. With their heads in the clouds, they may be ridiculed or ostracized by friends and family back on Earth. These children may use their capacity for fantasy to avoid contact with the abrasive realities of their childhood environment, or to cope with their sense of alienation. They may also create false personae that are, because of the children's depth and sensitivity, both deeply distorting and, as they get older, extremely troubling for them. Everyone grows up to be, to some extent, an abstraction, an idea of themselves, rather than the embodied, lived experience of themselves. We may identify ourselves with our role, such as teacher or lawyer, or with an aspect of our personality, such as whiz kid or victim. We construct personalities such as a persona of graciousness or of intimidation in order to cope with challenging social situations. We also pattern our constructed personalities on the personae of our parents or on the images of people in the media in order to appear more sexy or powerful. As children, we adjust ourselves in order to conform to the images that people project onto us. We may form ourselves into an image of cuteness or naughtiness or goodness if our parents seem to see us like that or want us to be that way. If we observe children closely, we will see that the false smile, for example, can appear very early in life. Sensitive children may be particularly flexible or impressionable and attuned to the way their parents want or need them to be. They may become quite lost in their attempt to evoke their parents' affection, contact, or approval. Like our defensive patterns, some of these personality constructions become bound in the tissues of our bodies. They become part of the actual shapes of ourselves. Other patterns are more fluid. They are mannerisms or postures that we assume, usually unconsciously, in response to particular situations. All of these patterns mask and constrict our authentic self. They obstruct both our true reception of life, such as our ability to really see, hear, or touch, and our expression of ourselves, our ability, for example, to speak from our hearts. In people with a high degree of imagination, the constructed personality is sometimes a more unusual facade than most people create. It may, for example, be the product and expression of an extreme sense of alienation from the world around them. It may also be a more thorough transformation of themselves. Because of their inward depth and the power of their will, they may be able to imprint a false image deeply within themselves and appear more askew from reality than the typical persona. Once in India, I read a text that said the spiritual people disguise themselves in the world as madmen, ghouls, and children. Unfortunately, although our disguises may offer some protection from the world, they also hide our true nature from ourselves. For spiritually sensitive people, their false personae may be a source of extreme discomfort. Because we form our personae unconsciously, most people are not aware that they are anything other than authentic. But spiritually gifted individuals may have a heightened intuition of reality, a particular ability to distinguish truth from artifice. Very often, their own dissonance grates on them. This, I think, is a type of suffering that is the particular province of the spiritually gifted, to feel trapped in one's own unreality. Some people can, to some extent, drop their facade, or at least feel less encumbered by it when they are alone. They may seek solitude because it is the only time when they feel real. Their inability to experience authenticity in the world with other people may become a great burden. They feel unable to reach the actuality of contact with themselves and others that they somehow know is possible and that they yearn for. They cannot experience this authenticity unless they can recognize and see through their imagined self. The spiritual path for everyone, but especially for people with exceptional imagination, involves distinguishing truth from fantasy. It is waking up from a dream. This passage is so powerful because I work with a lot of spiritual people around here. There's a reason my business is named Sensible Woo. I am also a reader. A lot of you are in my Sunday newsletter list and you get readings every Sunday just for your business. And I've got a whole more group of you who tune in on Saturday for the free readings. So we like incorporating our spiritual intuitive sides with the business work that we do. It's a part of what makes us tick. It's a part of who we are. But figuring out who you are apart from the way other people want you to be, the way you've made yourself fit into the world, and this very deep inner world that you have as an intuitive, a natural, highly sensitive, highly spiritual, intuitive person is a skill that has to be learned. And the number one thing I have found from the coaching side that helps with this growth in yourself and in your business is by engaging in very, very human pursuits. Some of y'all aren't going to want to hear this. And I will tell you that I am in the same boat with you. I have had to come back to my body in recent years and it has been hard, but doing things like taking care of your health with physical exercise goes such a long way to helping you improve the relationship between your spiritual inner world with the outer world, the practical world, and getting a bridge going between those two things. If you're having chronic health issues, I have also been going through this too, so I'm right here with you. Starting with the meditations in a book like this can be a great awakening for yourself to understand just how far away from being in your body are you on any given day. There are a lot of ways you can do meditations. If you are still dealing with a very dysregulated nervous system, as am I, you may find that doing moving meditations is a lot easier to do than what has become the mainstream way to teach meditation, which is to sit and close your eyes and be comfortable, but to actually walk, to listen to something and walk, that can really help you start to get a feeling of being in your body, and it will give you access to your mind in a way that you can't get otherwise. But these meditations are so different. They will ask you to be in your body in a way that you've probably not really spent time in your body. And as somebody who is a former competitive dancer, I have spent a lot of time being really, really happy in my body, being very present in the moment. And even then, I realized how much I still had learned to exist up in my head space or just off to the side and not really in here. And the more I dig in here and I get really comfortable in this human flesh suit and I find the fun in it, I find the enjoyment in being human, it has changed what I choose to offer, how I offer it, the types of content that I'm creating, my ability to experiment and have fun experimenting. And I would encourage you to get curious with me. If you don't have any other place to be curious, even though we're on YouTube together and we may not know each other in real life, you can come in here, leave comments on the videos. I will cheer you on so hard. But I think that this is really the key to improving this authenticity problem that we have in the world of business right now. We have so many people trying to copy other people. So I'm going to encourage you to figure out, who are you? Who do you want to be? I'm recording this video on the Gemini new moon. So it is June the 6th in 2024. So if you see this video later, videos on YouTube tend to have a really long shelf life. So if you see this video later, you found it at exactly the right time that you needed to find it. But the magic of the new moon today is so much about really honoring the part of you that has been silent or has been kept in the corner and really needs its time to shine, being all the parts of you that are meant to actually come out into the world. That is the magic that your clients are looking for from you. And it might seem like it's really insignificant. It might be some hobby that you want to do, or it could be a way of showing up that you want to show up. Whatever it is for you, it's meant to come out right now. And that's a big reason why I chose this book this week, because I feel like it is the information that we need right now. Any kind of tool that's going to help you bring out that core element of you out into the world so that other people can see it, it's visible, they can connect with it, and they can connect with you as a result and get the benefit of whatever it is you're offering in your business, then that is the goal. If you would like more lessons like this, then I really encourage you to stay in touch with me. You can subscribe to this channel for one thing, but you can also subscribe to my free Saturday newsletter. It has a tarot and Akashic Records reading specifically just for your business every Saturday. That link is always the first link in the show notes below this video. We've got a great group that tunes in every week. The open rate on that newsletter is insane. You'll learn about how I put together content systematically and also bring all of my intuitive sides into this world that I do. And you're going to watch me do a lot of pivoting in my own business. I'm constantly experimenting, and I always like to share what I'm learning with you. Have fun getting fully embodied this week. I will see you next time. Remember to be sensible, be woo, and always be you.